Look at us looking great in our new look. It's just amazing. I know it is. Anyway, good evening, boys and girls. I'm your host, Malik Wilbon. This is your other host, Tyler Kornhauser, and this is Challenge the Interruption. I love the new look. How are you feeling about it?
I mean, I love the new look and everything. I mean, you get to be Will Warren, so it's not, I mean, it's unfair, I think, but whatever, I'll be.
Well, let's go ahead and start bringing it in from the top. I am MTV Malik. He is Tyler Louder. This is Love, War, Challenges. Today, we're going to be starting off in the selections. Graphics are now going to be provided by Challenge Stats. Make sure you follow them on X at Challenge Stats. Make sure you follow them on Instagram at Challenge Stats. I like the way I'm doing this because I only asked them and haven't heard back from them yet. But I'm assuming it's going to be okay. I'm hoping. We will see.
They kind of post that stuff on Reddit and Twitter, and they're like always, it's really just posting for all the fans. One thing I think is really big is I think a lot of people in not just Challenge, but all types of communities, they just want to be like the only one that does their only thing. However, I think if everybody can kind of utilize other people's strengths, we can kind of showcase and highlight this show that we all love even better.
I agree with you 100%. So MTV, CBS, Viacom, Skydance, Paramount, whoever the fuck you guys are with today, stop cock blocking our shit.
Yeah, get off our ass on TikTok, man.
Like, come on.
People are literally playing full, like, I watched The Lion King the other day for like 15 minutes because they had the full movie on there, and I was like, I gotta get back to work. But like,
the original or the live action?
It was the original, yeah. I've never seen the live action, actually.
Neither have I, and I'm kind of scared to do it because those lions look kind of creepy.
I'm sure it's all right.
Kicking it off, we start with our selections. Out of these groups, off the top of your head, who do you think is going to make the best team?
I mean, going into this third daily, I mean, it's hard to tell. It almost seems like in this, obviously we have foreshadowing, like we know what happens and everything, but like anytime Anissa's with like the male dominant, like physical force on that season, she performs well, like always. It was always a joke, like her and Fessy never wanted to be her partner, but it's like they were constantly winning. It's like Anissa might not win you a final, but Anissa will keep you in the game. That's the big thing. If you could find a way to adjust at the end. So her and Jeremy had a good connection. I thought Derek C and Sydney would have a really good team as well, just because they're both really athletic. I mean, and to be honest, this is the first time we've also seen, and we'll talk about it in the daily, that we actually saw what Sydney was talking about. She was being about it. Like, she actually performed because she's been talking a lot. So, but I mean, overall, there's a lot of teams that, are likable, and, honestly, anybody can kind of put up a win performance, as we kind of see in this daily today.
So originally, the team that I did like was going to be Ben and Corey Maria. But I know Corey Maria has a weakness when it comes to swimming, so I wasn't expecting a lot. But they actually didn't get showcased that much, and I didn't see that much from them. The one I was really interested in was going to be Lika and Leroy, but also when it comes down to the swimming, kind of the same thing. So there's actually a lot of these teams I didn't like, but I probably had my hands on Will and Nani probably going to be doing the best. But these are the teams that were made, and not all of them got to working well. Moving on, we move on to what happened between Naya and Gabe. Now, as noticed as the premiere, Naya has been banged up. She's been banged up pretty bad, and Gabe has become frustrated at his performance so far this season and his lack of being picked first. He decides he's going to voice his opinions. Naya overhears, and she confronts him. Off top, from this interaction, whose side are you taking?
I mean, you have to take Naya's side, because here's the thing. She is your partner. And yeah, it does suck. But however, he was the last guy picked. He's only her partner because she had no other choice. So something that he needs to take in consideration, that if he could start performing better in these dailies, or even showcasing better as a social component in this game, then maybe he wouldn't be, oh, I have to pick you. And it's, I want to pick you. So I'm sorry, this is like, Gabe's being a little bitter. This is like middle school and Valentine's Day. And you just see like, they sell those roses and everything for $1 at lunch, and you can go get them and buy them. And you're watching everybody else get a rose but you. And then a rose falls on the ground and somebody's like, you can have this one. And that's what he's just throwing a fit.
absolutely throwing a fit. His behavior, his actions, and the things he said was 100% unacceptable and disgusting. First off, off the top of your head, can you name anybody from the challenge during this whole history to fake an injury to get their partner thrown in?
Oh gosh, I don't even.
Throwing a daily is one thing, throwing the challenge. That has happened. But
Yeah,
I think when it comes to Nia, she wasn't even thinking about Gabe in that kind of way. What have you done? What are
especially
you doing?
because we don't know if it's going to be like history tells us that there is a pattern that it can follow, but there are also lots of twists and turns that it could go female, female, male, male. Like it could just do that. Like it could rotate and it doesn't have to stay on the same pattern. So Nia doesn't know if she's putting herself in jeopardy. Now, here's what I want to see. The medical team and the challenge itself, Nia hurt her knee on that initial climb. She even voiced how she hurt her knee on that initial climb before we even started. Why did she not get checked before? And literally, instead of her picking a teammate or somebody picking her, she gets whatever rookie guy is left over. And then she goes to medical. And if she is unable to compete at that moment, whoever they have already, flown out for the replacement can come on in. It doesn't make any sense. Like she's been hurt since episode 0.
Well, I like to think that she's trying to look at it from a competitive standpoint. Yeah, I'm a little hurt. I'm going to try to thug it out. I'm going to try to, just stay strong. I think she probably did that up until the point she couldn't take it anymore. And maybe if somebody's going to get screwed over, maybe it's somebody who has done nothing competitively or socially in the game.
Yeah. But I mean, overall, your partner's injured. We've seen people like Rivals 3. We saw Avery and Leroy, who were rivals because, Johnny Riley is Leroy's boy, doesn't like how Avery treated him and everything, and they're rivals. Leroy gets hurt. Avery is concerned. They are not supposed to like each other. She's concerned. So it's like, now you see Gabe right here, and he's just a poor sport. And I mean, honestly, if I was in a house and I saw somebody else doing that, guy or girl, I'd be like, you know what? I want them in the elimination. I want them in, and I hope they go home. Like, we already have enough bad blood and bad press and bad looks from some people on the challenge and everything. But to, like, kick somebody while they're down, like an injured?
100%. Yeah. I think the house is able to see that. I think Gabe isn't going to be, I'm telling you, if not next week, the next 2 to 3 weeks, he's going to be out. One of the things I really appreciated is just how fierce Nia can be. Mm-hmm. She still has it. She's still Hurricane Nia. And I felt like no matter what she said, she was going to be in the right for feeling the way how she felt.
They showed them the next morning getting ready for the daily, and Nia, like, puts on her shirt and just glares straight into the camera. And I was like, dude, she is frightening when she's pissed.
She's not fucking around.
Like, do your homework, man. You know, watch like this. Like, go back and watch Real World Portland. Like, go back and do your history Rivals. And everything. Yeah. Watch X's too. Like I don't understand why you want to mess with Nia of all people. She doesn't care if you're a man or a woman. If you think about it, there's a reason. Thinking about it, like Jordan, like cocks off to everybody, like spouts off random stuff. We'll just kind of say something. Everything. Treats Nia with the utmost respect now.
Yeah, he absolutely learned his lesson. All right, moving on to today's daily. Today's daily is going to be called Water Tower. There's a giant container in the middle of, I think it's a lake. One partner has to jump in, swim under the container, go to the platform. The other partner swims straight to the platform. They got to put a puzzle together. It's not done till they both done. Justin and Olivia get a win with Phil's right on time, and Nia and Gabe are automatically DQ'd and unable to compete. Let's go ahead and talk about this daily. Did you like it? Did you love it? Who did you like? Who you didn't like? Overall performance and your overall thoughts on today's daily.
I mean, I liked the fact that they called it Water Tower. There you go, challenge. We're keeping it simple. It is in water. It is a tower. You don't got to be creative. We don't need these innuendo names or whatever. But what is really cool is about this that it kind of showcased that, hey, if you think you can make this climb, go ahead and do it. At first, I thought it'd be easy because we see some people jump in and climb, and on their dive, they pop right out. But then we see some people jump in and they had a panic and they could not get under, and they had to have help and get rescued.
I'm glad you said that because the previews, I thought this was going to be really bad for Derek K. He was screaming for help and it was bad. I was like, oh, he's all right. I was legitimately worried. I thought that like, oh man, what's going to happen? They're automatically DQ'd, but what if Derek gets DQ'd? Is it even going to be an elimination? So I was really, really worried. I thought they did a good job at selling the danger that came with this, but I'm glad he was okay.
So one thing that's really interesting and that I kind of had an issue with, why did Nia and Gabe automatically get last place? Like normally in these situations, they go, okay, you're unable to compete today. While you are not last place, you won't be safe. You will automatically be at the mercy of the jury. Like something like that. Like, like that just, it was weird. And as soon as they said you're in last place, my mind immediately went, they know Nia's hurt. They already know she's hurt and they're going to have her go home. And this is why we don't have a team go home or another female go home and then she gets medically disqualified. They already know, but it's a show and they want to put on a good show.
Yes. While they was doing this, it seemed wrong. It felt wrong. It seemed like something was off. So being able to see that, it was kind of easy to tell what was going to happen. I wasn't sure what was going to happen to Gabe, but yeah, you're 100% right. It definitely seemed off. There's been times we had to deal with this, and this wasn't. Yeah, it just didn't sit right, and I could tell that this was going to end up coming.
They almost should have just said Nia was unable to compete. She has been disqualified from the game. She has to leave, and then they give Gabe an option. Remember on Free Agents episode 3, Frank had just won 2 eliminations in a row, and then he was sick with something, and then they told him he had to leave right before a daily. Well, they gave, I think it was Jasmine, John A, and Jordan, I think, and they gave them the option. Do you want to compete in the daily, or do you want to go straight into the draw? Like you could be in the draw and you could still go in, or you could not be. They should have done that and gave Gabe the option. Do you want to compete by yourself, or do you want to be up for selection? Because competing by yourself, you don't know how well you'll do. You could
just
try
and jump in.
And, yeah, exactly. So I think that overall, I mean, it's whatever. It's done with, but I think there are ways around this that it wasn't so kind of screwy, kind of for Gabe, who really, even though he's kind of being a sour about all this stuff, he did get screwed over in this whole situation.
He did, and just because of the way he was acting, I don't really feel bad. Now, moving on to club night, things were actually pretty dry. Nothing really happened. The only thing really to mention is that Leroy kind of coaches Gabe on how to deal with Nia. And I don't know. I didn't really quite know how to take it. I was wondering, was Leroy doing this because him and Nia, they kind of go back. She is a vet. Is he looking out for a rookie? Is he just doing something nice? It didn't really seem to be much to gain from coaching Gabe on how to do this. I have heard stories about older vet challengers coaching players on how to talk in the interviews and stuff like that. What was your take on Leroy going out of his way to coach Gabe on how to deal with Nia?
So I think there's 2 points to this. I think that Leroy and Nia are friends. So Leroy wants to see Nia do well. Leroy wants to see Nia be in this game. And that's the main component. But B, I really do think that this is kind of the challenge's way of kind of doing not a soft reset, but almost kind of bringing a new era, if we could, into the challenge where it's, I really don't know the best way to say this, but it's kind of like these guys are coaching these rookies on purpose to take over for them. That is the point. You have all these vets here and they keep saying new threats. These are vets. They could have just named this new threats, but they have the vets aspect in there. I think there's a big coaching component that they want. And we're seeing this a lot. We're seeing every episode, a vet is kind of telling a rookie something, and then they're kind of applying it, which is really cool.
It is really cool. And you do got to, the torch does have to be passed. These guys are 40 plus. And have you been on Twitter and seen Paulie going off on all of the vets, calling them weak, going back and forth with Derek K and Theo, and then Theo going back and forth with Wes? It's actually a very exciting time to be on Challenge Twitter. And Challenge Twitter has really seemed to be, not as intense as it was lately, but it's been really great to see. Any thoughts on them going back and forth?
You might have to remind me. Okay, so kind of tell me some things that have been happening. So Theo and Wes were going at it?
Oh, yeah, they've been going at it consistently. Wes is saying, like, I would smoke these new guys. I'd be top 3. Theo was like, we dusted you in the final. You couldn't keep up that. And they're going back and forth very respectfully. There's even talk about Wes building his own mini final, flying TJ down and running against Theo just to prove his point, which I would love to see. And how does Challenge Production not just say, hey, let's actually do it, the challenge, one-on-one? I would have jumped on that. And of course, Paulie, who no matter what he does, I still seem to love, him and Derek is going at it, and Derek is actually getting the upper hand on him. This is really, really great to see. A lot of fun. I know you've kind of been off Challenge Twitter, but I think now would be a good time to come back.
Well, here's the big thing that I want to say is that
you're just going to side against Derek because you hate him.
No. I think Paulie really likes to just kind of, he'll jar with anybody. Like if he thinks if you say something that's kind of off, he'll jar with you. Like he doesn't hold back. And neither does Derek. They both don't. They will just say what's on their mind. I mean, I once didn't give Derek an elimination win because he was a mercenary and he wasn't eligible to be eliminated, and he threw, a big old thing. But anyways, with like the Theo and Wes thing, that was Theo at his peak challenge performance. That was his rookie year. That was his best performance he's ever had in the challenge. And outside of, World Championships, he's pretty much been on like a decline of performance since then. And they did get second and third. Like neither of them won. Like Turbo won that final. So it's like,
yeah, exactly.
They both lost that final. It is cool though, because I think those aspects they have to come up. Because if you think about it, when you're watching the NFL, let's go back to like 2005. This is glory days for me. And you get after a game and Ocho Cinco is just like, yeah, couldn't cover me. Here's my list of cornerbacks I'm going to torch next week and everything. That adds to, hey, I want to watch this next week. I want to see what's going to, it adds to it. And so I'm cool with all these things. I'm cool with all these additions. It doesn't bother me. I think it's good. Jar at each other. Talk smack when one's there and one's not there. Wes definitely would have placed well in this daily though.
Oh yeah, absolutely. He's a swimming beast and we all know it. Now, moving on to nominations. And this is another way that I knew things was off because TJ told them like, oh, the winners, you're going to get to be able to save a team. So I knew there was going to be off.
We are going back and forth.
Yes. They decided to save Izzy, and this firmly shows Olivia where she stands. Michaela decides to call this out. Bananas follows through. Leroy follows through. Backs this up. Do you think that this would negatively impact Olivia? I personally thought it was fine. First off, everybody kind of already knows where everything is shaking. If you haven't sussed out where the alliances are, there's really 3 alliances. Mainly the UK alliance. There's Bananas Angels and his alliance. And there's this rookie alliance, which really isn't even really a thing. Do you think being outed this way in nominations is really going to affect Olivia's game negatively?
I think it just shows that Michaela is showing Olivia, we are aware of what you're doing. You can't play dumb. Like, we are seeing it. And by you not saving a vet female, you are saying that you are not with them. So as soon as they win, you are okay not to be saved by them. And so I think it's just showcasing. The way Michaela did it is one of the cleanest ways somebody has confronted somebody in front of everybody without it being this like, now we're going at it. It was just like, I don't understand why you're doing this. Why are you doing this? I want you to explain yourself. And Michaela really gets this game. She does not get enough credit because she comes from Survivor and she got eliminated first season, and she really showed a lot in USA too. But she really understands this game really well. And so, honestly, if you're in a game and you can call somebody out in a nice way, I think having somebody else show their own cards is the way to go about it.
I'm inclined to agree with you. I do think that this most likely affected Michaela's game more negatively than it did Olivia's, by far. Later on in the nominations, we see Anissa say, hey, I talked to Naya. She says she wanted Tay, and the Cara Maria kind of stands up. She did kind of muddy the waters. What was your take on Anissa kind of trying to get it to switch to Tay? I think she tried to do the same thing Michaela did, only it didn't work, and it kind of was a bad look for Anissa, who has actually grown a reputation for pulling this kind of shit in nominations.
It is very odd to just, I don't know. It's especially because people were saying she didn't say that. The past 2 weeks, we've had people going, this is who they want. And everybody in the house is like, yeah, that's who they want. And everybody kind of knows. But now we have a situation where we have 2 names that they're saying this is who Naya wants. And it's just kind of, who's lying? And Cara's saying Anissa's lying. They showed a little clip. I don't know.
It could be inferred.
Yeah. Like, yeah, America's the boring matchup. Okay, so she wants Tay. I see that from that side too. So it was interesting. I will say real quick, because right after this, we get Nany saying Bananas and America's name so fast. Like, without hesitation, stood up, I'm voting for them. Let's go back 3 seasons. That's my ride or die. This is a person we've hooked up and dated or everything. We've been in alliance literally since my first season. And there's speculation. There's rumors that production, like I said, knew Naya was medically disqualified. There's rumors that they told Bananas and they let him know. And then Bananas says, because think about it, who votes in Bananas? Nany votes in Bananas. Aviv votes in Bananas. CT and D vote in Bananas. That's weird.
Even better. Only Cedric Michaela, Leroy Lika, and Anissa and whoever the hell her partner was the only people who voted for Tay. This vote was 9-4.
Exactly. So my thought process is Bananas told 3 of his closest people, because he's hooking up with D right now, and then she votes him in. Aviv is his number 1 in the house, and Nany's probably his number 2. So there's speculation that he knew. He told them, vote for me. We're going to be safe. I'm not going to be the hangnail. And then he gave this grand speech of I'm the challenge and everything, which we'll get to talking here in a second. I mean, we're kind of on Bananas now. But yeah, in this grand speech of I'm the challenge and everything, there's speculation that he already knew that he would be safe. And so he didn't want them to burn, and it would help his game overall if he had double agents.
And this also leads us into Bananas versus Olivia. And here's the funny thing is, I don't necessarily think Bananas even had to be told beforehand. Bananas is smart enough to know to go to his people like, hey, is this vote, if it's looking like there's no chance in hell, go ahead and vote for me. There's no point in making yourself a target this early in the game.
Right.
So that makes sense. And it could go either way. Like I said, I know that this is an unscripted show, but I wouldn't put it past production. The same people who hit us with, freaking strikes for copyrights on YouTube, these guys being shady, kind of makes sense.
Are you guys giving us free promotions and showcasing the show that you love to get more people across the world to watch our show? We're going to copyright it. We're going to get rid of it.
Anyway.
It wouldn't surprise me if they kind of were like, maybe in an interview, maybe they didn't tell Naya was hurt, but they were like, what if Naya's medically disqualified? What do you think will happen in the game? Things like that.
If Bananas did know, does that make his big blowout between him and Olivia disingenuous?
No, I think it allows him to have a platform to showcase himself more and have a centerpiece. I think these are already things he's going to say, because then we get up later and they're kind of talking up in the bedrooms and everything. And those cameras almost feel like the crew know they're there, but they almost forget they're there in the middle of a heated conversation because they're not looking at the camera. They're always looking offside, so I don't know, not disingenuous to me, but.
Bananas knows how to be a showman. He has no problem putting on his producer's hat.
No.
In all reality, I'm sure him and sometimes it's like It's not that we hate each other, but this is how the game is played. We're on opposite sides, and we're gonna have to go at it. More impressive. I mean, at least Bananas knows what to do in these kind of situations. But more impressive, Olivia is rising to the occasion to be a foil for Bananas. She hasn't been doing this a super long time, and here she is with a lot of power in the house, sitting in a good position. We talked a lot about this last week, and she is actually killing it. And she's doing it while being likable. This doesn't look like good versus bad or anything like that. It looks like two strong people, either side you can root for, depending on who you like. But she is coming off as very likable, while a lot of people who go against Bananas is either seen as a good person or the villain. So the way she's playing this is actually pretty magnificent, and it's really great to see, especially on the women's side. We always get on them because, the last couple of seasons, the women's side has been the stronger of the pairs, and they have been really rising to the occasion. And you even get stuff like Michaela. Really, we all had doubts about this season, about what it was going to look like. And this season is really shaping up to be a good one.
Yeah, it's interesting you say that, because I almost feel like in terms of like wrestling, Johnny Bananas is kind of like that tweener where he's kind of a good guy, but he's like CM Punk right now.
Stone Cold after King of the Ring.
And I know I just said that he was like Ric Flair that last episode and everything, but like what it feels like is that Olivia is like the turning point of like turning heel. Like she's turning into a bad guy, and you're saying she's kind of doing it in a nice, respectful way, but here's the thing. She is trying to get all these new people that she doesn't have relationships with, that she isn't really connected to, just because Theo speaks a certain language, speaks a certain accent of, he speaks British. And so, and it's just interesting because she's working with all these new threats to take down the old guard. It's almost saying like Bananas is, hey, we got to put you down. Sorry, your time has come. We got these new pups up here that we got to raise and run ship. You're a little too old. And so by doing that, it makes all these, because you think about it, we're not just talking about Bananas. We're talking about Derek. We're talking about Leroy. We're talking about CT. Like all these older guys. Sure, Anissa too, even, but it kind of like makes it seem like we're replacing you. So it makes Olivia kind of seem like, to me, like the bad guy of the story, which is fine, because if you don't have a role in the challenge, anybody listen to this that maybe is going to be cast in future seasons. You don't have a role in the challenge and you don't have a place in everything, and Bananas doesn't have somebody to feud with in a season, step into that spot. Go head to head with him. It will make you or break you. Simple as that.
I agree with you 100%. I'm definitely loving the transition, but that's going to take us to the elimination. Everybody comes down. It's a girls' day. It's going to be Nia versus America. And before we even begin, a 90-minute episode with no elimination. Nia is going to be sent home. Gabe is going to be the hangdown. All of this was over naught because Bananas is safe.
Mm-hmm.
I absolutely hated this. You could have let Nia go at the daily.
Yes, and then made it a guy's elimination. And here's the crazy thing, they still could have made it Gabe versus Bananas right here, even though we don't want that because Bananas on our TV more is just more entertaining. But they really could have. We still have so many people here. They're gonna start having double eliminations sooner or later. They already knew it. They could have done it here. A big thing though, this elimination, knowing that Nia's probably going home. Like anybody that sees this, she's probably going home. They're not even allowing her to compete. Like, why wouldn't they allow her to compete? They don't know if she's hurt and everything. So knowing that, this strategy of putting Bananas in it's too risky. Even if Nia could participate, maybe it's something where you have to like hold up weight with your lower body and Nia's knee gives out. If you're gonna take a shot, you can't miss because now everybody knows where the bullets are coming from. They know where the target is. They can move the target now and go after the person going after them. And so it's just, this would have been a good time to kind of target Bananas' alliance on the off chance that somebody goes in versus target him. Like they should have been trying to vote in Aviv. If honestly, you get in one of his top girls that physically cannot beat Nia in a physical competition. Maybe in anything else she can, but in a physical she can't. So if there's a physical elimination, his number one is gone. And that hurts him, but also doesn't take a shot directly at him. You know what I mean? Like, it's just,
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
timing is everything for this too.
Timing is everything. So these are our new selections, the new teams being made, once again, provided by Challenge Stats. Make sure you follow them on Instagram. Make sure you follow them on X. I do like the teams, but before we get out of here, I wanted to ask you, are there any changes in the power rankings?
There's a little bit of changes, yeah.
Because I'm thinking most of it really has to stay the same. Yeah, we got some new winners, but, Olivia was already at the top. So
Bananas and Olivia were 1 and 2 last week, and they actually both moved down a spot. Now, here's why. Publicly, both of their games are so known that it will allow everybody else to blend into the background, because anytime Bananas gets power, he's coming after Olivia and her group. Anytime Olivia gets power, she's coming after Bananas, maybe his group. If you're not in both of those groups, you just sit on back. It's that Homer Simpson thing. You just fade into the bushes and you're good. And by doing that, it exposes both their games, where if I already know the moves you're going to make on the chessboard, I can get to your king quicker. But if it's unpredictable, it's harder to play against you. But when you show me everything, I'm not worried. So they both moved down. So here's how the power rankings shake out. We are going to reward Justin 2 really good dailies, comes off a win, has an elimination win in the first episode, and he really kind of solidified this bond with Izzy and the UK people without saying it 100%, because everybody was mad at Olivia. Why'd you save Izzy? Why didn't you save a vet girl? But really, this helped Justin's game. He's also performing well in dailies. He's got connections with the rookie guys. There's some other, he's in a good spot. Bananas is at number 2, because Bananas, I feel like, knew everything and kind of maneuvered this game, and
he
was just
really
fine.
got out of this unscathed.
It was insane how it looked like he was so calm. Like, he knew, I just feel like he just knew everything as well. So he's at number 2. Number 3, we have Olivia. She falls down 1 spot as well, just because of the Justin aspect. Number 4 is still Jeremy. He still performed well. All of his pieces and his alliance with those rookie females is still intact. And Michaela moves up to number 5 for me. Michaela has performed really well this season. Most years, you know how we're like, I wish they'd show us who finished 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 5th. This point system is so great because it always shows us who finishes at least top 8. Michaela has a 5th place, a 7th place, and a 2nd place finish. With 3 different partners, she has been the main component in these top 8 finishes.
She's been performing solid all season.
And her name hasn't gotten called up. She has great confessionals. Maybe, because really, she's just pointing at Olivia. This next episode will really be make or break.
She's really pointing on herself, because her calling out Olivia says, I'm not with you. I'm not with you, and now you know it.
They won't have a female elimination for 2 more dailies. So it's like maybe 3 more dailies, because they might go back-to-back guys. So it's like people might forget by that time.
All right. Well, Gabe is going to be the hang now. Before we get out of here, I do have to announce, yesterday, Naya did announce her retirement from the challenge. Great career, came really, really close. Really, really disliked her, and she turned it all around for me. And I will say that she actually helped me very personally in my life. When after D got canceled, Jordan went on his little press release, and they did a long Instagram live, which I despised. Most of it, because I saw it as performative, just trying to get him out of trouble. I really thought Naya was misplaced there, even though she was at the center of a lot of those reasons of why I feel the way I do about Jordan. But during that live, she did go off and just says, please have grace for people. Allow people the grace that you would want for yourself if you made a mistake very publicly. And during that whole thing, I really took that to heart. And I really actually applied it to myself in real life. And it's actually made me a happier, more empathetic person. So I know that we never met each other. We hardly know each other out of a couple of retweets, but that's something that's actually had a profound effect on my personal life. So for that, I am grateful. I'm grateful for the fact that she came in and looked a certain way, and she left looking like a really, really great person. And I'm just very thankful to have her. Thank you, Naya, for competing on the challenge. You're going to be missed. I hope you can come back for All-Stars and enjoy your retirement.
Yeah, I mean, outside of this injury, Naya has like longevity in most of her games that she's in. She is not a like quick out most of the time. And yeah, I mean, it kind of sucks to see somebody announce their retirement at this time. But here's the thing: we do know that it's not always for sure. You never know. You never know. You never know what you're feeling in that day, and when you get that feeling of I need to compete against somebody. I need to swim against somebody that I don't even know. But yeah, it kind of sucks, because we're on that's another real worlder
Yeah.
that says they're done. And so it's like the list keeps getting smaller of real worlder and road rules that keep competing. But yeah, I think that's all we got.
Yep, that's what we got. Thank you all for watching. Thank you all for listening. Make sure you follow us on Twitter at LWC Podcast. Follow us on TikTok and Facebook at Love War Challenges. Follow me at Malik_MTV. You can follow Tyler at Lord Louder. Make sure you listen to Love War Challenges on Apple, Spotify, YouTube, iHeartRadio, or your favorite podcast app. Once again, I am MTV Malik. He is Tyler Louder. This is Love War Challenges. Peace.
Bye.